Yo guys, we're back here with another video. Today we're gonna do a NBA draft. I'm just gonna go through CBS Sports NBA draft that they just did, and we're just gonna go if we agree or not. And I want to hear your comments down below. Please go to the end of the video or stay to the end of the video because YouTube only cares about the watch time. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop in. NBA mock draft. We're gonna pull this up. So, with the first pick, the Golden State Warriors would pick James Wiseman, 19 years old, 7'1", 240 pounds. He only played, 3-4 games? And look, James Wiseman's perfect fit. A lot of people are like, hey, they should draft LaMelo, they should draft Anthony Edwards. And look, James Wiseman is this guy who would fit perfect. Look, they got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. Then they got themselves either Eric Pascal or Draymond Green. Then James Wiseman doesn't have to start or have a lot of pressure in his first year as they can keep Kevon Looney and Marquise Chris there. But by his second year, after he had a whole year of development and, grooming, they can put him in and he can be an absolute stud. An absolute stud. Just tearing things up for them. And I firmly do believe that he will be able to do that. I don't think he's not going to be. The only way I see them not getting James Wiseman is if they traded out and they got like a really good lot of players, that they got a bunch of depth and they got a one starter player. Because besides the center position, all they need is depth. They just lost their depth. And James Wiseman's the best player on the board right here. Best player for them on the board. So the second pick, if the Cleveland Cavaliers had it, they would choose Anthony Edwards, is what this mock draft is saying. And, I can see that. I don't know if Cleveland's going to get this high of a pick. And if they do, I guess they would. I don't know if Obi Toppin might be able to sneak in there because I'm just thinking, yeah, they could, because then they would have Sexton, Garland, and Edwards. They'd be very small right there, but then they have Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson or Andre Drummond. I could talk myself into drafting Anthony Edwards if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers. If not, I could see Obi Toppin trade Kevin Love for a pick and then get a small forward later in the middle of the draft like Sadiq Bey. But Edwards, everybody's like, is he overhyped? Is he legit? He's just a guy who's on a mediocre team and he just got a lot of points on inefficient scoring. Still, guys, look, he was one of the best players coming out of high school. He's 6'4" with 6'8" wingspan. Look, his floor is being an Andrew Wiggins type player where they're barely an all-star. They're not a bust or a valuable good player. They're a starter player, but they don't live up to the second pick of the draft or first pick of the draft. And his ceiling is just being a phenomenal, destructive player like Donovan Mitchell. I think it's easy as that. I would take that. And the thing is if Edwards doesn't go, if the third pick does go to the Timberwolves and Obi Toppin is picked or somebody else is picked instead of Edwards and Edwards falls to the Timberwolves will take Edwards in a heartbeat. So if somehow Edwards is still available when Minnesota has the pick, they're going to, without even thinking, going to take Edwards. Because imagine Cat, D'Lo, Anthony Edwards. That's a good fucking team. But if Edwards is off the board, Obi Toppin, put him next to Karl Anthony Towns, and you just got a lot of stretching right there. You have a guy who shot 39% from three. He can get some boards. He can block. He can get steals. He's a really good guy, versatile guy. And, his floor is pretty high for a player. He's 6'9", an explosive leaper. He has a lot of offensive skills. He's a willing passer. And he can play a small ball five, but he's a perfect fit next to Karl Anthony Towns to stretch the floor, which they've needed for a long time. Now, Isaac Okoro for the Atlanta Hawks, if they get the fourth pick. They did get DeAndre Hunter, I think it was. DeAndre Hunter was last season they did get it. So I could see Isaac Okoro not going here. Who I could see is Onyeka Okongwu. So I don't agree with this right here. I don't think Atlanta is going to take Isaac Okoro. They already have DeAndre Hunter. They got Kevin Huerter. They need a center to eventually replace Clint Capella when his contract dries up or when he wants more money, or if they can just trade Capella before his contract dries up and get other players off of his value, because Onyeka Okongwu is essentially, his floor is Bismack Biyombo during the 2016 playoffs if he never develops offensively. But if he does, it's poor man's not Hakeem, but just Bismack Biyombo 2016 with a jump shot. 5 Detroit Pistons for sure are going to get LaMelo Ball. At the end of the day, the NBA is a business, and you're like, oh, they got Derrick Rose, yada, yada. They need a future. They don't have any future. Tell me one guy besides Luke Kennard that will be around on the team maybe after this season. You can't, okay? And with that being said, LaMelo Ball is going to bring tickets, sell tickets, bring fans into the stands, and just make the Pistons a team to watch, like Zion did to the New Orleans Pelicans. It's a freaking league. New York Knicks are saying Killian Hayes. I don't believe that. I think it's going to be Denny Avdija. I think Killian Hayes is going to fall. Killian Hayes has a very high floor but a lower ceiling. I think the New York Knicks are going to take Denny Avdija. They need a small forward. They need something to do. I don't see them at 6 taking Killian Hayes. If they're going to address point guard, they're going to do it some other way. I think they take Denny Avdija. He just screams a New York Knicks pick. Even though Phil Jackson isn't there anymore, I do really firmly believe Killian Hayes isn't going there. 7, this is where Isaac Okoro would get drafted. Not Denny Avdija. This is where Isaac Okoro would get drafted. 7, I see him. He's the defender that would be perfect next to Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn, wherever they want to run, and Lauri Markkanen. Perfect fit right there. I could so see that going right there and being a phenomenal fit and pick for the Chicago Bulls if they get Isaac Okoro. Now at 8, I say RJ Hampton. I think Malik Monk's kind of a bust. I don't think Onyeka Okongwu is going to be there because I had him get taken by the Atlanta Hawks at 4. So I think RJ Hampton, or if they really want to go in the lines of like a point guard or a forward, if they really, I don't really think there's any forwards besides Pat Williams that go here, but I think RJ Hampton would be perfect. He can either be a shooting guard. He's a shooting guard with point guard skills, but he's more of a combo guard, and I think he could be perfect guy. He's 6'5", he's got the length. I think he'd just be a perfect fit right there. 9, I completely agree with this. Tyrese Halliburton. He's Sean Livingston, post-injury Sean Livingston with a jump shot. We can talk about this all day. He is 175 pounds. He'll put on, it'll be like 200. And, he is an elite passer. He sees guys. He sees the floor well. He's never going to be a 20-point scorer. I think he's going to be like a 12 with maybe 8 assists and 6 or 7 boards. His floor is Michael Carter-Williams, and his ceiling is post-injury Sean Livingston with a jump shot. Borderline all-star. 10, I don't see Devin Vassell going to the Suns. If the Suns have the 10th pick, I see Killian Hayes going here because he's a lot safer of a pick, okay? A lot safer of a pick than Devin Vassell is not safer, but he fits. Devin Vassell is a shooting guard. They have Devin Booker. So Killian Hayes, give him a year behind Ricky Rubio, then he takes the reins. His floor is probably going to be like a DJ Augustin type player, and his ceiling's like a poor man's Tony Parker. Though I do think Theo Maledon has a higher ceiling. 11, I could see either Precious Achiuwa or Devin Vassell going to the San Antonio Spurs. Put Achiuwa next to LaMarcus Aldridge, have Achiuwa play center, Aldridge at the power forward position, stretching the floor. That could be great. Or they could have Devin Vassell at the small forward position, maybe DeMar DeRozan at the power forward position, center position, LaMarcus Aldridge with Lonnie Walker at the shooting guard and DeJounte Murray at the point guard. But if they're not trying to go that route, Precious Achiuwa, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray. I love that. My last draft, that's what I said in my mock draft. Sacramento Kings, if Devin Vassell's available at this point and that we have Precious Achiuwa going to the San Antonio Spurs, I would have Devin Vassell instead of Aaron Naismith because this is how I see it. Devin Vassell is a more athletic Klay Thompson, but Devin Vassell is more defensive orientated. So if you were going to weigh him out, Devin Vassell would be like a 76 with a 78 defense and a 76 offense, while Aaron Naismith would be like a 77 offense with a 75 defense, if that makes sense. And I think they need the shooting, but they need the 3-and-D, and Devin Vassell is still available. He's the better pick than Aaron Naismith right there. The Pelicans, at this point, will get Aaron Naismith because he's available, and he would fit in next to Lonzo Ball Josh Hart. You put Josh Hart or Aaron Naismith, then Brandon Ingram, then Zion Williamson and Derek Favors. I love them. I don't really like Cole Anthony just because I just think Cole Anthony is poor man's Russell Westbrook and his body's going to break down. I don't like him. He's not efficient. He's just an older school point guard, and I don't think he's going to translate really well to the NBA. Will I have him going in this draft? Yeah. So if Aaron Naismith, who hasn't been drafted that I said like no to? I think we got him pretty much everybody so far. Aaron Naismith, Cole Anthony's available right now. I think Saddiq Bey would be perfect for the Portland Trail Blazers. If RJ Hampton had fallen this far, I would say RJ Hampton would be perfect because then they have CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard as their starting front court, and then Anthony Simons and RJ Hampton as their backcourt. But if they don't fall this far, if RJ Hampton gets picked up, like I said, by the Charlotte Hornets, Saddiq Bey is perfect for them. Saddiq Bey is perfect. Saddiq Bey is so perfect. Look, he was a 6'1" guard as a sophomore, and he's jumped up to 6'8", and he's close to 6'9". He shot so well for a player. He's great off the dribble, off the ball player. He's great with off the ball motion to get in the spot up shooting spots or being a catch and shooter. He's great. He's great offensively, and he can guard 1 through 4. I think really he could be a poor man Paul George, or his floor is, if not a poor man Paul George, I would say a poor man Trevor Ariza, and I'd be fine with that. Orlando, right here, depending on what they do, I do agree. They could either go Tyrese Maxey or Cole Anthony. Again, if I was here, I would take Tyrese Maxey. He is a more athletic and a little bit taller and more defensive-orientated version of Lou Williams. He has the offensive arsenal of Lou Williams, but because he's 2 inches taller and he has more hustle, he is a better defender than Lou Williams ever was, or Jamal Crawford. But this is a guy you'd love to have. Immediately would be a great 6-man. He can put boards up in the hustle. I just see him having a career like Lou Williams, but having a steal and a half a game, which anybody would love. See, now the Timberwolves are back on the board, and I told you guys if Edwards fell to them, this is where they would take a power forward, such as Patrick Williams or somebody else. But I think right here, if they did take Obi Toppin, they would take Josh Green instead, because Edwards wasn't on the board. Josh Green is kind of like Danny Green. He's like the second coming of Danny Green, in my opinion. Great 3-and-D, one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league. Boston Celtics would love a guy like Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is a small forward, but I think he should play power forward just because, the way the NBA is going, how much of an athlete he is and how good of a defender, that if he develops and fills out his frame to be able to take the punishment from the 4s and 5s, he would just be such a threat. It wouldn't even be funny. Then you got the Dallas Mavericks. So Cole Anthony would be here. I would see Cole Anthony going to Dallas Mavericks. RJ Hampton got picked at 8. Cole Anthony would be a good guy to split time with Jalen Bronson. I'd love to see that. Then you got 19. You got the Milwaukee Bucks. I see this. Jaden McDaniels. He's a good stretch 4, and if he puts on some weight, he has the willingness and the tendencies to try to get blocks and steals, but it does get him into some trouble sometimes. 20, Brooklyn Nets, I do see Tyler Bey. Tyler Bey is kind of like Saddiq Bey. He can guard 1 through 4. He's a little shorter, not as offensively gifted as he is. Saddiq Bey is a better offensive player, will be a better shooter and scorer than Tyler Bey will ever be. But I can see Tyler Bey being able to be this 6'7", not like Wesley Johnson, but better than Wesley Johnson. I like to say this 6'7", 3-and-D wing that can either play the 2, the 3, and some 4s, depending on what size those 4s are. The Denver Nuggets, I do like Trey Jones. Trey Jones is a very interesting player. I very much do like him. I think he's a good player. I'm trying to think of a player I did analysis on. I think it wasn't Tyshawn Alexander. Trey Jones is the only other defender besides Ashton Higgins that is really the 2 best defenders coming out of this draft for point guard positions. Obviously, Ashton Higgins might have Trey Jones a run for his money. You see, this guy is exactly like his brother, Tyus Jones. So, you know where you're getting from him. I would just think you would get a different guy if you were the Nuggets, but I do see them getting a point guard, and Trey Jones would be good. And the next guy on the thing is Jamius Ramsey, who I could so see going to the Nuggets. But I do see Trey Jones going to the Nuggets. Jamius Ramsey is a perfect fit for the Sixers. They need shooting and need a lot of it. This guy loves to shoot, and he can put points up in a hustle. Next, 23, Xavier Tillman. This guy out of Michigan State. He can play the power forward or the center position, and he's great. He's great. He can defend fives. He's almost 250 pounds at 6'8". He's a little older, but he's pretty much pro-ready coming out. And yes, he's a great stretch guy, but he can do the dirty work underneath. And he could be a guy that can fly under the radar. And Miami Heat's a perfect culture for him to go to. He'll develop great there. Utah Jazz, Dante Exum's a bust. Kira Lewis just turned 19, okay? Just turned 19. By the time his first year's deal's over, he'll be about to turn 23. So take this guy. Take this guy. I'm telling you, by the time his fourth season is over, he'll have just turned 23. He's going to be amazing. OKC, Theo Maledon, I think he has the higher ceiling but a lower floor than Killian Hayes. So he is a riskier prospect, but the reward could be, he could end up being a better player because he can guard 1 through 5s. He's like 6'5", almost 6'6", and he's playing in a league higher than, he's playing the first league, French league, while Killian Hayes is playing the second league, German league. So he's playing in harder competition, but he's been a little inconsistent and has had injury problems. Boston Celtics need center and rebounding, so Isaiah Stewart's perfect. He's just the center they really need and give them stuff, the rebounding and defensive presence they need. The New York Knicks, I do see tanking Jalen Smith. Stick Smith, great. He should play power forward in my opinion, just because of his size and frame. But, you know, it is what it is. I do see him better being a power forward just because of his frame. But yeah, he's a great guy. I loved watching him at Maryland. Danny Oturu is a perfect fit. If he learns under Serge Ibaka, he fit perfectly in the rotation next to Pascal Siakam. I love that. I don't think the Lakers are going to take Cassius Winston. Personally, I think they'd take Nico Mannion out of Arizona. Cassius Winston, I'm just sorry, he's not going to get drafted. He's going to be a second-round pick, and he might just tell people, don't draft me and let me just fight for a spot in the Summer League. And if that Celtics don't take him, who could they take? I guess they would take, like, I don't even know. Who's a guy I haven't mentioned? Cassius Stanley. There we go. But yeah, that was the mock draft. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you guys did, please drop a like, subscribe, comment. As always, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, because I know I will. Till next, guys. Peace out.